All right, people. I'm here with my boy, Bruce Hope. We are going to react to Mystery of Chessboxin, Wu-Tang Clan. Bruce picked this song.
I did.
Okay, I'm all about bars. Bruce, you're all about bars, right?
Sure.
Tell us why you picked the song.
When you reached out to me about this and you said, oh, Bruce, pick a song, whatever, I'm like, okay. Like you said, I'm all about bars, but also like I come from that boom bap era, right? So I was born in 78, so I'm coming up in the 80s, but right around the time Wu-Tang dropped, I'm a teenager, and I'm real. This is truly hip hop for me, right? It's bars, it's the boom bap type beat, it's just straight head nod music, and it just takes you back to that era of New York hip hop where it's really hard to describe, but when you listen to this song, your head just starts doing this, and you can't control it. And not just that, but like what was so ill about the Wu-Tang and their posse cuts is that these guys were always like seemingly going at each other to try and outdo the last guy with the best verse. Yeah. So you had RZA with the crazy production on a super limited budget, closet in the basement, and they were holding the microphone with a hanger, with like a turned like a bent out of shape hanger to hold the microphone, and then the pop cover was like some pantyhose over the cover of that. So it was super hood, but when you listen to it, it's like, this is hip hop. Like, this is what it's supposed to be. And obviously things are different now. Everything changes over time. But for me, this is just my era of hip hop. Beats, bars, head nod music, and you just feel it. So yeah, that's why I chose it, Sneed.
A lot of people agree with you. They'll say that the 90s was the golden era of hip hop.
I think it was.
You know, they'll tell you that, and I don't really push back too much. I think there's good hip hop across all eras.
Yeah.
But I think this one had what you were describing when you were talking about the competition. In this case, there's competition within the group with Wu-Tang, and when you think back to the 36 Chambers era, and even into the Forever era, you had some real lyricists in that group. Sure. And you probably had some average guys who would step up their game just to be able to compete. Absolutely. Right? So they leveled up. And I think in this era, you had classics coming out. So, Bruce, I told you before when you picked this song, I don't remember the song by name. I don't remember all their songs by name. I remember a few by name, but I remember bars and I remember songs when I hear them.
Right.
So this is what I'm doing with this reaction. You tell me what you're doing. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. All right. For me, I'm going to be highlighting bars, flow, sound delivery, lyrical potency. I like wordplay. I like clever rhymes, creativity, and I want to see mastery. That's what I look for in the boom bap era of hip hop, right? And then you talked about production with the RZA. Instrumentation is important. It can't just be some basic drums. We need drums that work with the song. All right, the snares, the cymbals. I like good pace. I like some creativity. His samples have always been sick. So we'll see if he's got any good samples, and then how it all mixes together. And remember, Wu-Tang, 9 guys, bro.
Yeah, well, this particular song I think only has 3 or 4 of them. It doesn't have all of them. But
does it have Inspectah Deck? Because that's my guy, bro.
Yes.
Yes. By the way, when I first started listening to Wu-Tang, Bruce, it was Method Man, right?
Yeah.
And then it changed over time. I was like, yo, Inspectah Deck is the one, bro.
He is the one. And I heard you talking earlier about Wu-Tang Forever. Triumph, which is probably, in my opinion, the greatest posse cut in hip-hop history.
Probably.
But remember when Deck came out first with I Bomb Atomically, that verse that he wrote and he spit on that, which is probably the greatest opening verse in hip-hop history. But it's crazy. The rumor is like all these Wu-Tang guys, when they heard that verse, they all had their verses done. They all went back to the drawing board like, oh no. Like they all ripped up their verses and went back and started writing again.
We're going to do this, bro. If you need me to just stop it, we can, or just let the verse go and then we kind of discuss the verse. Yeah. Because I don't think any of them goes on for too long, if I remember correctly.
No, they don't. This song is like maybe 4.5 minutes. But I'll tell you right off the intro, I got a couple of notes. So
all right.
I'll definitely have you stop real quick.
All right, let's do it, bro.
A game of chess is like a sword fight. You must think first, right? Before you move.
Own style is immensely strong and immune to nearly any weapon. When it's properly used, it's almost invincible.
Raw, I'ma give it to you with no trivia. Roll like cocaine straight from Bolivia.
Okay, cool. So I just wanted to give a quick note. So the Kung Fu movie sample in the beginning, Wu-Tang is famous for that. And for most people who may not be into the Kung Fu movies like we were growing up, most of their samples come from the Shaw Brothers movie studios. And those are actually 2 separate Kung Fu movie samples. The first one, the game of chess is like a sword fight. You must think first before you move.
Right.
That's a sample from Shaolin and Wu-Tang, which is one of the all-time best. And the second sample, Toad Style, is immensely strong. When it's properly used, it's almost invincible. So that one is from the 5 Deadly Venoms. So two samples from 2 of the best kung fu movies of all time. So
and we all know RZA loved kung fu movies.
Yes, they all did. They all did, yeah.
Shock the nation like the Emancipation Proclamation. Wig MCs approach with slang that's dead. Them eyes are running to the wall and bang your head. I push a force, my force you're doubting. I'm making devils cower to the Caucasus Mountain.
Well, I'm Messiah. I set the microphone on fire. Rap styles vary and carry like Mariah. I come from the Shaolin slum, and the al I'm from is coming.
Bro, hold up, bro. For those of the people out there that don't know that reference, yo, Mariah Carey used to be it, bro. Right?
She was it.
Mariah Carey she was hot at the time, bro. That was a big time artist, and when he gave that lyric, bro, that's pretty sick, right?
Rap styles carry like Mariah.
Yeah, that's and she was in music, right? So she was an artist. I see what he did, bro. That was nice. That was nice.
So if you wanna come sweating, stressing, contesting, you got your soft sword to the midsection. Don't talk the talk if you can't walk the walk. Phony niggas that outline the chalk. A mad vex is what the projects made me. Rebel to the grain, there's no way to barricade me. Steamroller niggas like an 18-wheeler with a drunk driver driving. There's no surviving. Rough like Timberland, where? Yeah, me and the clan and yo, the Land Cruisers out there. Peace to all the crooks, all the niggas with bad looks. Ball head braids, throws his hook. We pack home checks, nigga play the max. Black axe, drug dealing styles with fat stacks. Only been a good nigga for a minute though, cause I got to get my props and win it. Yo, I got beef with commercial ass niggas with gold teeth, lamping in a Lexus seat and beat. Straight up and down, don't even bother. I got 40 niggas up in here now who killed niggas for me. My people's all you with me.
Raekwon's pace was nice, bro. That flow was really good.
Nice. Rode the beat extremely well.
Yeah,
for sure.
That was nice. Ray got it. Ray nailed it.
Ray is, he's not the best pure lyricist out of the Wu-Tang, but his solo albums have been really, really good. They Only Built for Cuban Links, to me, is pretty much a classic. He had some great work. He and Ghostface really work extremely well together. And yeah, Ray just, he came off. And I think so far out of the 2 verses so he had the 3rd verse. His was like the most street, right? Talking about, I got cats up in here now who kill cats' fathers. And he's talking about the drug game and the nice cars and all that. He was the most street so far. Like Inspectah Deck, he's a pure lyricist, so not necessarily with the street stuff as much. But yeah, they all came off so far.
Yeah. So far, so good. I like Deck's lyrics probably the best out of the first 3. I think Ray probably was the smoothest on the track so far. And he possibly has the best sound, man. I don't know. It's this one's tough.
Yeah.
All right. Next, I think was what Meth was about to come in, right?
Meth was on the hook.
Oh, he's on the hook. Okay.
He's on the hook. He doesn't have a verse on this song. He just
all right.
My people's all you with me where you at? Smoking meth, hitting cats on the block with the gap. Here I go, deep tight flow. Jack you stole can never get this. No, I'm Terry Bomb and shit. Boom, that's warming up a little bit. Happening is what's happening. Get the pockets stacking, hands clapping at the party when I move my body. Gotta get up and be somebody. I go back home for strength to the bone. Dan, dan, dan. It's the Wu-Tang zone. So now, rock that stuff up, pop. I'm gonna catch up, rough, kicking rhymes like Jim Kelly or Alex Kelly. I'm a beat a belly rhymes, coming raw style, hardcore. Niggas be coming to the hip hop store, coming to buy grocery from me. Gonna to be a hip hop MC. The law in order to enter the Wu-Tang. You must bring the whole dirty bastard type slang. Represent the Jizza, Abbott, Raekwon, Raekwon, Inspectah, dirty hole getting low with his flow. Introducing the Ghostface, Killa.
What? I don't remember this, bro. Hold up.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember how, bro. Okay, so first of all, we know that ODB is the eccentric one, right?
Yes.
But he had bars, and he was rhyming.
Bars, yeah.
Okay, so for like
something totally different to the group.
Okay, now like for the style, right? Nobody like ODB, like mad unique, right? Like just very specialized in what he does. That was some kind of mix of like a kid mixed with someone trying to sing, mixed with someone trying to just entertain. That was like a lot of that into that energy. Right. You could tell he was a showman. Like he really was bringing entertainment value to the music, and it sounded good.
No, that was a good verse.
Yo,
can never get this low.
yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I think a guy like him, is probably the precursor to like someone like MF Doom, like some of that stuff. And like you think about even someone like Busta Rhymes, right? Like, and how he was kind of like animated and all that. But like, I remember ODB as like if I'm just talking about when I was a kid listening, kind of like the goofy one, but that verse was solid, bro.
Yeah, no, that verse was solid. ODB has some stuff. If you go through the what do you call it? His catalog, he's got some verses. He's not the best lyricist, but he definitely has verses though. Yeah, ODB can do it.
But he's rhyming with skill, and he's putting together some good lyrics and some wordplay, and he's got entertainment value. Yes, and nobody's sounding like this, bro.
Yeah. So if you remember, I don't know if you watched what was that, like Wu-Tang Made in America? I think it was something like that. The Wu-Tang miniseries that was on Hulu a few years back, and there was a part where Dirty was supposed to come in and pitch his album to the record execs. And of course, he came in all late because that's Dirty. But then he like hops up on the table and starts wilding out. And they were like, oh my gosh, okay, let's do it. Because he brought something so totally different to the game, just like what you're talking about.
Yo, that's crazy. I don't remember his verse being this good on this song.
Bees on attack. My peoples, are you with me where you at? Smoking meth, hitting cats on the block with the gat. Speaking of the devil's sight, know it's the guard, get your shit right. Mega trife, and yo, I killed you in a past life. On the mic while you was kicking that fast shit. You and Nick tried to get it, got blasted. Half-mastered ass style, mad rough chast. When I struck, I had on Tim's in the black mask. Remember that shit? I know you don't remember Jack. That night, yo, I was sitting like a spiked bat. And then you thought I was bugged out and crazy. Strapped for nonsense, after me became lazy. Yo, nobody budged while I shot slugs. Never shot ducks, I'm running with ducks that flood mugs. So grab your 8+1, start flipping and tripping. Niggas is jetting, I'm licking off, son. Wu-Tang, 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 Wu-Tang. Homicide's illegal and death is a penalty. One justifies the homicide when he dies in his own iniquity. It's the master of the mantis. Rapture coming at ya. We have an APB on an MC Killa. Looks like the work of a master. Evidence indicates that it's stature. Merciless like a terrorist, hard to capture. The flow changes like a chameleon. Blends like a friend and stabs you like a dagger. This technique attacks the immune system. Disguised like a lie, paralyzing the victim. You scream as it enters your bloodstream. Erupts your brain from the pain these thoughts contain. Moving on a nigga with the speed of a centipede and injure any motherfucking contender. My people's
2 verses, Bruce. All right. Ghostface got the sound, bro.
Yeah.
His voice was built for a microphone and to rhyme over.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got the sound, and his delivery is really good too. He's sharp, right? Who was that after that? Was that Jizza after him?
Masta Killah.
That was Masta Killah. Okay. Nice verse. Solid verse. You know what's a shame is that these verses are short, bro. They're trying to squeeze in all these artists, you know what I mean? So they're a little, what are they probably doing, about 8 bars, 10 bars or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's 8.
Yeah.
It's short verses. And what I'll say too is you mentioned this earlier about the guys who are not as nice stepping their bars up because of who they're on the track with in terms of this crew. And Masta Killah is not known. He had a couple solo albums as well, but he's not known as
no. His albums weren't even good, right? Bruce.
Right, he's just the lower half of that of that group. And on this, he hung with him.
Yeah, he stepped
I'm not
up.
gonna say he had the best verse, but you could clearly see. He's like, okay, I can't come on here and stink it up with these guys that already went. So, yeah, definitely, you made that point earlier.
Actually, speak to the production. Absolutely. I actually think that was a nice beat, bro. That was a mean little beat. All right, it had some pace for the guys to rhyme over.
Freestyled over that 3.
You're right. It was good for them to rhyme over. The samples were cool. The mix was good. Simple drum kick, like nothing crazy in terms of the package of the drums. I think that's the classic boom bap sound you were talking about in the intro, right in the preface. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it.
All right, so
how he mixed in. They had the heavy drum line with the bass and all, and that was good. But I love how he mixed in with the how he mixed that in there. I was like, when he layered that over the top, I said, oh, that's it right there.
So I'm gonna rate the production an A. I like the beat. I think the beat is nice. I think it's creative. It's not complicated. Nobody's going to mistake that for a Timbaland beat. You know what I'm saying? It's not Manny Fresh with 1,000 sounds or, DJ Quick or Dr. Dre with 1,000 sounds. But in this particular era with this particular type of rap, they weren't doing that. That's not how this worked. It was maybe a couple of simple samples, right? And then you had just your basic drums because the message was more important than complicated sounds.
Yeah. And then we also got to think about, one, obviously these guys didn't have a lot of money at the time. and two, the technology to have the more, you know, complex advanced beats wasn't necessarily available yet. Because this was, I think, 92 or 93. So now if you jump ahead, as you mentioned again, Wu-Tang Forever to Triumph, which again, I think is the greatest posse cut ever. And I think it's either the first or second greatest hip hop beat ever. But now if you listen to Triumph, the beat is so much more advanced and has so many different layers to it. And I think a big part of that is the
evolution.
The evolution and the technology, among other things. So, yeah.
All right, Bruce, what is the most memorable parts of the song?
Oh, man. So I'm not the biggest Ghostface fan, and this is probably not even that crazy of a bar, but when he says, grab your 8+1, start flipping and tripping, jetting, I'm letting off, son. I don't know, something about the way he put that together I'm like, okay, that was tough. I really think that I'm really impressed with what Masta Killa was able to do. You know, homicide's illegal and death is a penalty. Word justifies the homicide. When he dies in his own iniquity, it's the master of the mantis rapture coming at you. So you have the slick lines, you have the internal rhyme scheme. He's really giving everything he's got to hold it up with these other, you know, heavyweights on this track. So I think he did a great job. He did it. And of course, you know, Inspectah Deck is always going to murder damn near everything he gets on. So Deck, Masta Killa, and Ghostface. And believe it or not, even though he didn't have a verse, Meth killed that hook.
Yeah.
He killed that hook. So.
Yeah, it was nice. It was just to bridge the next verse, right? It was always just in there. Yeah. But it was good. Most memorable thing for me, bro, is ODB.
Okay.
Because the whole, if you look at the whole set of verses, his is just way different.
You know what? That's a great
It just stands out. It's like if you have, you know, let's say it's 10 Lamborghinis, bro, and they're all yellow. And then there's just this red one in the middle out of you know, like it would just stick out, right? The one thing that sticks out. ODB sticks out. And the reason it sticks out for me is because usually I wouldn't be listening for him.
Right.
But he delivered in this song.
Yes.
And I don't know, maybe they had other verses recorded for this and they just settled on these. They felt like this fit together. You know?
I didn't even think about that. I've never thought about that.
I bet you, Bruce, there were probably 9 sets of bars and they ran with those 6 or whatever it was. I didn't even count. 5 or 6
these years. I never even considered that.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? And you know who probably made that decision? It was probably the producer, you know, because they weren't really doing much with engineering at the time. Right. And they weren't really relying on the label to make decisions for them.
Right.
You know, they said, put together these projects. They're probably recording at, you know, Riz's house.
Yeah.
You know, in a makeshift studio.
In the basement. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right, Bruce, the song gets an A, the bars get an A, the delivery, the competitive nature, the skill, the seriousness, you could tell that they were trying to master their craft. All of it is high order, bro. I love this song.
Yeah.
I love this song. I've heard it before, but I mean, it's never bad to hear it again, bro. I remember this song.
No, it's one of those songs.
All right, man, let's let the audience tell us what they think, Bruce. We'll field some of those comments when we post this and see what the people say about the song. Maybe there's things about the song we don't know. I'm sure they'll tell us all about it. But
I think it's going to be good to get some different viewpoints on it and hear what people have to say. I'm excited to hear it in the comments. I'm definitely excited.
All right, solid. We'll do some more music reviews for you guys. So more stuff up and coming here on my channel. And who knows? Maybe Bruce we'll do a frequent spot here on this one with the music reviews. All right, we'll see you guys on the next one.